It'll be fine. It'll be a whole stretch of squiggles before we know it.
Squiggle, squiggle.
Well, welcome, dear listener, to yet another episode of the Savor the Burn podcast.
Welcome back.
My name is Jonathan. Over here to my left, your right, is Mr. Wizard Fingers W2. How do you do, sir?
I'm doing good. We're on a Thursday night this week.
Yeah, this week is a little bit different.
We're usually here on Wednesday nights, but we're on a Thursday night this week.
Yeah, I had a housewarming party to go to last night, and I was like, "Can we move the night?" You're like, "Yeah, sure, dude, no problem." Yeah. So you're all up to date.
Do what we got to do.
So, thank you for watching the Savor the Burn podcast on YouTube. Thank you for listening on your favorite podcast app of choice. Definitely be sure to follow along on all our socials. And if you're new to the podcast, please hit that subscribe, like, the bell notification, all the things. That way you're up to date on everything that we have to release. So tonight we've got says here, Henry McKenna 10-year single barrel straight bourbon whiskey, and I'm looking forward to try this out because it looked like it was bottled in bond.
It is.
All right.
Yeah, very excited. This one's been on my shelf for quite a while. Picked it up, got a great price on it. Flavier has this for $68. I think I ended up finding it for about $50.
Oh wow! All right.
And like I said, I've been sitting on it for a little while. Looking forward to breaking into this one. This one is also bottle and bond. However, instead of just the 4-year minimum for bottle and bond, this one's a 10-year. So this should be a pretty good one. The thing that's interesting, I don't know a whole lot. I've got a little bit of a write-up here that we can kind of go through, but I don't know a whole lot about Henry McKenna, but I do know that their standard offering is like an $18 bottle of bourbon. So
is that Heaven Hill? No, it's just straight.
Right.
Henry McKenna. Okay. Yeah, I saw.
Henry McKenna is distilled by Heaven Hill.
Okay. When I was up at Stanley, well, not Vape World tonight. Thank you. It used to be Stanley Station. Now it's Vape World. Whatever. I saw that they had a Heaven Hill, a bottle of Heaven Hill bourbon or whiskey or whatever it was up there. But yeah. What you were saying.
So yeah, their standard offering is like a $18 bottle. I've never had it, so I guess I shouldn't knock it.
Fuck it, knock
it. But it's an $18 bottle of bourbon. It may be fantastic. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Old Granddad's bottled in bond is a $25 bottle, and it makes a wonderful old fashioned. So, you never can tell.
I don't think I've ever had Old Granddad.
And that's the thing. You have it my birthday, because that was the old fashioned freezer door.
Okay.
That I had made.
I have had it then. I've had it in a cocktail.
So, but this one's pretty cool. It's bottle and bond. It's 10 years. Got a little bottle here. This one, like the last one that we tried, has the little tape over the top of it, and this time they did the $100 bill kind of a design on that.
Very cool little touch.
Nice green.
Got some handwritten numbers up here. What are those?
Yep. Let me see what I can see. Just bottle number and barrel number.
Oh, okay.
Or barreled on 8/29/11.
Oh, okay. All right.
So add 10 years to that. So this came out of the barrel in August 29th of 21.
Very cool. Right in the middle of the damn pandemic.
Somebody had to.
Somebody had to keep working. Somebody had to keep the country running. And it was Henry McKenna. Very cool.
Thank you, sir. Keep that running. Get us all poured in here.
Yeah. I don't know what your tasting notes say, but that's a medium amber if I ever seen one.
Yep. I mean, I think 10 years will do that.
Yeah. Stick me in a barrel for 10 years. I hope I look as good coming out of it. Yeah. That's
really, and I mean, it's all the little details.
Oh, wow.
For what it's worth, I just think it's interesting. So many of these bottles that we try have, cork or composite, but a lot of them have like that heavy hardwood topper on this.
Yeah, this one does not.
This is a plastic topper.
You popped it off of there and like, what the hell?
But then it's a real cork underneath there, so it's
giving you mixed signals.
Backwards.
To me, I think it'd be the best thing Jim Beam ever did.
Drink up.
Yeah, because they've got a plastic cap on everything.
Oh.
But, right? That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Oh.
It's like rich. I'm not sure what the sweetness is on other than caramel. But it's got lots of corn. Got a light oak, super light oak. And it smells.
Dang, this thing came with a like a.
Oh hell, that's more than a neck tag.
That's a full-on book.
It's a neck short story.
Yeah, well. Apparently, this is also, according to this is also single-barreled.
Very cool.
Which I did not have that in any of my notes.
Yep. Yeah, you'll see different things like single barrel and barrel strength.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, what the hell does all that mean? Single barrel means it came from one barrel. One single barrel. Barrel strength means it probably came from a whole bunch of single barrels into one, big vat. And then they just bottled it up.
Bottled it straight there.
Right there.
Yep.
So, per batch, not vat, but per batch, I mean, your the heat, the
proof.
The proof can vary a little bit.
Right.
But
that's why a lot of your full proof, barrel proof, uncut, they can vary greatly from I mean, it's from barrel to barrel, from batch to batch.
There's something in here like some kind of earthy tone on the nose.
It's really, really smooth and creamy on the nose.
Huh.
There's really no sharp heat that singes and
right. Yeah,
burns
it's
the nose
100 proof again. Another 100 proof.
Yeah.
It doesn't slap you in the nose like 100 proof normally does. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this smells like on the nose. It kind of reminds me of like a Buffalo Trace or like a something like that. But I'm sure with less oak, I would think.
Yeah, definitely a lot of vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla.
Some oak. Mm-hmm. Maybe some butterscotch.
I don't know. Maybe vanilla pudding.
Oh,
whatever.
Yeah.
Cheers, genitals.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's more oak. There's a little bit of a burn.
There's a custardiness to that. Honey.
What'd you just call me?
Honey.
Oh, were you calling for Miss Katie? Yeah, I'd say that there's some honey on there. The oak is more present on the palate than on the nose, but that's to be expected.
I'm getting more custard, more kind of that creme brulee kind of a custardy.
How about banana?
Yeah, a little bit of banana, like a banana pudding.
Yeah, banana pudding, banana cream
bread.
pie,
banana bread. Yeah, banana cream pie.
Banana bread.
We do love our banana bread.
Yes, we do. And thank you to Miss Katie every time that we end up with banana bread in our midst. It's always a pleasure. Always happy to have that. I'm gonna say banana. What is it? Cream pie. The way my grandmama used to make it. She used to make like vanilla pudding, and then slice up some banana, put it in a graham cracker crust, kind of layer everything in there, and then put whipped cream on the top of it, and we just get fat. Fat.
This says 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% barley.
75% corn. What was the other ones?
13% rye and 12% barley.
Okay.
So this one we have no wheat.
No wheat.
But we've got the rye. The rye is going to be that spice that we're picking up on.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at it. It's not like it's not the kind of spice that takes your breath away and like, oh hot damn, what did I get myself into? It lets you know it's there, but it doesn't fucking grab you by the shirt and harass you for lunch money.
So I'm skipping way down to the bottom of this write-up here, and it says any spirit labeled as bottled in bond must be the product of one distillation season and one distiller at a single distillery.
Okay.
Also, the law requires that bonded spirit be aged in a federally bonded warehouse under U.S. government supervision for at least 4 years and bottled at 100 proof, 50% ABV. Henry McKenna is the longest aged bottled in bond available today, resting in the barrel through 40 Kentucky seasons.
Wow.
You know, we talk about a 10-year bourbon.
Yeah.
And
we don't talk about the amount of seasons.
Yeah. And just saying 10 years is impressive to talk about. But to think about it in terms of seasons, 40 seasons, the highs, the lows, the colds, the hots, the humidity
and
in
different
Kentucky.
places in the warehouse.
Yep.
Yeah, the humidity. I've heard the humidity in Kentucky's hellacious.
Yeah.
Not as bad as like, Alabama or, some of those even further southern states.
Mm-hmm. The title on this write-up says The Ultimate Everyday Bourbon.
I mean, if this is your everyday bourbon, you're a fucking snob. I'm going to say it. Right, pinkies out, bitches. It's very tasty, though.
Man,
maybe I just whiskey snobbed somebody, and maybe this is their favorite. If it is, please send your hate mail to Jonathan at savortheburn.com. Just send me that email directly. Or you can send it to the both of us, the podcast, info at savortheburn.com. Or if you want to tell him that you want to fire me and you be the new co-host, W2 at savortheburn.com. Just send those emails. This is very good, though. Very
that's
like there's nothing to be mad at on
vanilla ice cream, maybe.
I don't know. I'm still stuck with that banana cream pie. Even
there's definitely some banana cream pie on this
over
one.
here on like vanilla. The vanilla is where's vanilla? Vanilla is like it's
off the chart.
It's all over. It's all over the whole thing, like a creamy vanilla.
Yeah.
It's like at 100 proof, this shouldn't be so damn tasty. It's very good. Very good.
This is one of those that we've gotten into, and like I said, it's been sitting on my shelf for seems like forever. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting here going, why did I leave this on the shelf for so long?
Well, I'll tell you what, for the podcast.
It's for the podcast.
It's for the podcast. It has to wait.
For you, dear listener.
Yeah. And now viewer. Let's see, the finish was every bit as interesting as the palate, I think. Yeah. I'm happy with that bottle presentation, though.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you've had long enough for the finish and everything to taper off, you're just left with that aftertaste. Does it taste like soap?
No.
No? Okay.
Do you get soap when you eat cilantro?
No.
Okay.
Do you?
No.
Okay.
But a lot of people do.
I don't get it.
A lot of people that don't like cilantro typically think it tastes like soap.
Yeah, I had an old friend of mine, ex-guitar player, Shane Meyer, wherever you are. Hope you're kicking ass and taking names. He called it a vile weed. He fucking hated cilantro. I
mean, I guess technically it is a weed. But so is mint.
A weed is as a gardener, as the resident gardener here at Savor the Burn Studios, a weed is pretty much anything that grows where you don't want it to grow. So that's just how that is. Because even dandelions have like 500 different uses. You can use them on all kinds of different stuff, from the roots to the flowers, all kinds of stuff.
It says here, Henry McKenna was an Irishman immigrant who came to Kentucky in 1837. With a background in distilling, McKenna brought with him the generations-old family whiskey recipe and set up shop. How would you like to just have, this is my family whiskey recipe? That's kind of kick-ass. Yeah. Anyway, recipe and set up shop in Fairfield, Kentucky, just about 5 miles from where the current Heaven Hill Distillery is located in Bardstown, Kentucky. The story of Heaven Hill is quite a tale to tell itself. They started back in 1933 and remain the only family-owned distillery in Kentucky. That's pretty cool. With the second largest inventory of bourbon in the world. In 1996, Heaven Hill's production plant was almost completely destroyed by fire. The company survived, and while fermenting, mashing, and distilling now occurs at the new Louisville distillery, aging, bottling, and shipping still occur in Bardstown. The question is, what do good old Henry and Heaven Hill have in common? Well, besides the location, the love for bourbon, of course. Now you take the love of bourbon, combine it with classic Heaven Hill mash bill. There's at 75%, 13% rye, 12% barley, almost 100 years of tradition, 10 years in the barrel, and you get Henry McKenna single barrel, 10-year-old Kentucky Straight Bourbon. I'm even more excited. I obviously sitting on the shelf. They've got bottled and bond plastered all over this thing.
They're very proud of it.
But I completely missed that right underneath his name. It says single barrel. That's badass.
Yeah. Yeah, and that would explain why you had all that information down here, the handwritten stuff here, barrel number and barreled on. Yep. Yeah, I mean, that explains that.
Yeah,
that went right over my head first time we talked about
this one just jumped up a notch or two because, I mean, bottled and bond is a big deal.
Yeah.
But now you're talking about a single barrel offering, which means the next bottle is going to be slightly different.
Yep, the next barrel will be slightly different.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Sometimes you luck out and you get 2 bottles from the same barrel, like me and my son did.
That does happen from time to time, doesn't
nuts.
it?
And I was just like shocked to find out that I was like, we were doing our tasting over video call, and I was like, so I'm holding up my bottle, I'm reading it, and it says mine says bottle number 912. What does yours say? 912. I'm like, keep going.
Wow.
What's the rest of the information? I'm like, son of a Limp Biscuit.
I don't think you can beat it.
Yeah, it's like a sore dick. You can't beat it. Speaking of sore dicks, we're going to go here to the Whiskey Tribe group on Facebook. If you follow Whiskey Tribe on YouTube, cool. We're already friends, you and us.
Yep.
So if not, definitely go check them out. Their content's a lot more alive, I guess, maybe scatterbrained. Ever since Daniel left to go do that Wizard Academy, it's a little bit of a different vibe, I think. But they're still over there, kicking names and taking ass. But anyway, they have a group on Facebook, Whiskey Tribe, and I posted some pictures of the bottles we're trying tonight. That one and these other folks here. But right now we're talking about this. Thank you. It's Henry McKenna. So far, just the 2 people that have commented, only 2 that have commented on our Whiskey Tribe photos of the 3 bottles here. They said this is their favorite.
I mean, so far, I might have to agree.
Yeah, we've only had the 2, and we always say if it's your first time with us, that's cool. But we always say that it's unfair to compare. Right. So like if you compare on purpose, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if we go, this one's like way better than the last one we tried. Well, if you're just tuning into this video or this episode, you're not going to know what the hell we're referencing.
Yeah.
So.
And times that we have compared have been episodes where we've done a series.
Yeah.
So, like recently we did Elijah Craig. We did the standard offering.
The toasted barrel.
And then the full proof.
Yeah.
And that was a great comparison because then it's all from the same warehouse, the same distillery. It's just toasted barrel and then full proof offering, and that is a great comparison to do. But outside of that, yeah, we like to say it's unfair to compare because what went into this one goes into another one.
So in the Kansas City Whiskey Guild, we're from Kansas City. If you didn't already know, KC Mo. Whoa, little Tech 9 for you. But in the Kansas City Whiskey Guild, feel free to join these groups if you want to. No peer pressure. But yeah, again, Andrew said it's a very good choice. John says not a bad bottle for the price. Henry McKenna would be his first, followed by the other two, but whatever. He said, as far as this goes, each bottle will be different due to single barrel, profile where it was distilled, and age proof statement. Probably age/proof statement. So yeah, if it's single barrel, it's going to be different every time.
Absolutely.
And Matt, again, he says, let the Henry McKenna breathe a little bit before you try it. Neck pour was rough for him. But he's loved the bottle ever since. We've loved the bottle since first pour.
Yeah.
This is really good. WT Black and... Oh, he must be talking about the...
the Wilderness Trail.
Yeah, Wilderness Trail. Kelson says, I want to know the difference between WT Black and the gold labels. What separates them? Well, Kelson, we have no idea. We just have the one bottle.
This is a weeded bourbon.
I have no idea.
This is a weeded bourbon. So maybe that is the gold label. I don't know. I have not researched enough of their offerings to know what the differences between the bottles are. I'm really loving this, and I'm really thinking I should have given it a better score.
Well, Kelston, according to Google, your answer can be answered this way. So aside from the number of barrels that were combined into make the juice in the bottle, what exactly is the difference between the yellow label with black writing and the black label with yellow writing? Well, the biggest difference is that the yellow labeled single barrel bourbon is also a wheated bourbon. Yeah, so the yellow label is wheated. The black label would be a little bit...
Oh.
Yeah, a little bit different. Small batch uses rye as the flavoring grain. So... Yeah, so the black label will have rye, just like probably the rest of their offerings will have.
And the gold label did not have rye.
Right, zero rye. Rye. Both are produced using a sweet mash process, which sweet mash, I appreciate that, having a sweet tooth from hell, and are both at 100 proof and bottled in bond. Also, both are pretty delicious. So, there's your answer, Kelston.
I like it.
Thanks for watching the Savor the Burn podcast.
Hey, where'd you get it on? Give it on the nose.
I gave it a 4.0.
Excellent.
What'd you give it?
I gave it 4.25.
All right. What is going on with us? My, how the turns have tabled. Definitely good.
Palate,
I gave it a 4.5.
I gave it 4.25.
Now we're catching up. If you, dear watcher, dear listener,
and I should have given it, I think, a higher score.
What we do
is
like, I'm so jazzed about fucking everything. Like, he comes into it with a more refined palate. Like, he's seen a thing or two. Me, I'm just like, this is all new to me. So I'm pretty jazzed about just about everything. So I'll give it a higher rating. He'll probably give it a more down-to-earth rating. Whatever. We're just two knuckleheads. Yeah.
It's what it is.
So, yeah, when it comes to opinions, I refer to what Dan Cummins said in his latest comedy special. He said, really what it all comes down to, or what it all boils down to is, who the fuck am I? I'm just some random asshole, some random dickhead with his own opinions that may change over time. And in the end, my opinion doesn't even matter. And then he said, on the flip side of that, who the fuck are you? Just some random dickhead. Whose opinion may change over time. So on and so forth. Definitely check out his stand-up stuff. I fucking love Dan Cummins. How about the finish?
I stayed true. 4.25.
4.25? I went up. Wait. No, I stayed the same. My palate was 4.5. 4.5. Stupid wiki. And my finish stayed at 4.5. But you stuck at 4.25?
Yes, sir.
Very cool. How about bottle presentation?
Despite the plastic top with the cork stopper, I gave it a 4.25.
You gave it a 4.25. So
I
did
like it. I like, it's got the $100 bill, y'all, label over the top of it.
Yeah.
The label on the front, I think is nice. It screams money. I mean, it's got all the greens. It's not a rye, but it's got the money greens.
Yeah, I didn't even think
gold,
about that.
It's got the gold metallic ink on it, and then it's got this little
info tag. It's got so much going on.
Yeah,
there.
It's like a 16-page
book.
booklet attached to it. So yeah, gave it 4.25.
Yeah, I gave it a 4.25. I gave it a 4 initially because it had all this cool stuff. Like, no, it's not a bottle of Booker's with its own wooden case, plexiglass front, a neck cradle, a tag, an info sheet on where the bottle has been since birth. Mm-hmm. Cradle to grave, so to speak. It didn't come in a bag, like a bottle of Blanton's or a Crown Royal.
Right.
We haven't even gotten into Canadian whiskey, I don't think, this entire time, have we?
Not yet. We will be, though.
Yeah. I'm afraid to go to Canadian whiskey because, everybody's go-to was always Crown Royal.
When we do, though, I am going to pay Ryman's a visit. And
okay.
I'm going to cross my fingers, and I'm hopefully... My hope is to land myself one of those Caribou Crossing bottles.
I've heard things.
Which I owe my sister a bottle of that, so...
Faith.
I got you.
Yeah. I almost went George Michael. I wonder how many times she's heard that in her life. I gotta have faith. Gotta have faith, faith, faith. I gotta have faith, faith, faith. That's all you're getting. All right, so bottle presentation, like I was saying.
That wasn't Limp Bizkit, though. That was like genuine.
It was not.
That
was
was
George
straight
Michael.
George Michael.
And when you said it's got the $100 bill, y'all, I was thinking like, no, Limp Bizkit's $3 bill, y'all. Motherfucker. Like, you don't even know. But you do know because you were an LB fan, weren't you?
I was.
I still kind of am. I'll say it. I'll admit it. Shame the devil and tell the truth.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is, so many people love to give Limp Bizkit crap. And
I do.
I'll give them crap, too.
I love giving them crap.
However, my first experience with Limp Bizkit was in, I want to say it was 2000. At the Beaumont Club.
What?
At the Beaumont Club, they were the opening act for Primus.
Primus, okay.
Power Man 5000 was the supporting act.
Okay.
And I
so
had.
it was Biscuit, Power Man, Primus?
Right. That Primus played for 2.5 hours. It was you either have to be a Primus fan or you're not a Primus fan.
To each their own.
Anyway, I had never heard of who this Limp Bizkit guy was, but...
Who this Limp Bizkit guy was.
But Wes Borland looked like an alien from another planet.
I think he still does.
He still does.
Because he is.
But they played a 15-minute set.
Oh, no.
So yeah, let's put this into perspective. They were so unknown, they played a 15-minute set.
Wow, and probably were happy about it.
Fred Durst got up front. He basically stood like this. His mic was on the stand. He never took it off the stand. He stood like this. To me, it looked like he was hiding from making eye contact with the crowd.
Okay.
A scared kid
so
kind
that
of
was,
a thing.
That was very early on before he found himself as a front man.
They rocked the fuck out. They were so good. This would have been like, in 2000 might not be the right year, but it was literally like a month or 2 months before was it $3 bill?
Yeah. So so that would have been like
$3 bill, yeah.
Mid 90s. I want to say like maybe 96.
This was 3 months 2 or 3 months before that actually broke. It had just came out. That was their album, but it had not hit the radio yet, so no one knew who they were. Yeah, do me a quick Google.
Yeah, looking it up. Primus, Limp Bizkit, Power Man 5000. 97.
Okay.
Yeah, 97.
Okay.
Fucking nuts.
So yeah, that was super, super early on, And I jumped on the Limp Bizkit bandwagon then because
Right then and there, huh?
they rocked the fuck out for the 15 minutes they were on stage, and Fred Durst delivered, but you could just tell that he was green.
Yeah.
He had not found his own yet.
Yeah.
And it was
That's
a great
pretty
show.
wild, because, like, seeing him now, he's cool as a cucumber.
Right.
Like, just fucking...
Well, and you know...
He's easy like Sunday morning.
We've got the SiriusXM app in the truck, and so they love playing the Limp Bizkit and all that. But you know, they always do all these band segments where they'll come on there and promote the Turbo channel, and then they'll kind of talk about another band or whatever. And I've heard a ton of bands on there talk about Limp Bizkit being a band that just owns the crowd from the moment they hit the stage, and how Fred Durst takes the crowd right there in the palm of his hand, and just moves them from song to song to song throughout the set. That was not the Fred Durst that I saw the first time. But I was so into the music. That was also my first time seeing Power Man, and Power Man just
blew you away, huh?
It was a badass show. Yeah.
I think I've seen him once. I actually, no, I haven't. I haven't seen him. I think I was going to, but I ended up not going. Cool story, bro. But yeah, your story's a lot cooler than mine. Actually, I might have stuck around and watched Primus, because in '97, I probably never would have heard of Limp Bizkit.
Pork Soda had just dropped, so that was kind of the touring album.
Yeah.
So, which My Name Is Mud was the single off of that.
Yeah. A lot of people loved it. I was not one of those people. But, you know.
I'll put it this way. You either love Primus and tolerate Les Claypool's vocals, or you just can't get past his vocals, and that's it. You're done.
So it's like
put it
Rush.
in the trash.
So it's like Rush. Or Megadeth. Some people cannot get past Dave Mustaine's voice.
Or just,
I'm not one of them.
Or just
I'm
Dave
okay
Mustaine.
Okay, Dave Mustaine as a person, or Dave Mustaine on album, and that's all you really have to deal with. Yeah, I don't know. Dave Mustaine kind of goes through these character arcs, you know, where he's like this villain, or he's cool, he's making a comeback, and he's fucking villain again. Because like
I've heard though, it's tough for others to fit in the same room with
his ego.
I don't know that personally, but that
like I saw this video, like he was in the stands, in the bleachers or whatever, had his hood up, you couldn't tell he was anybody or whatever, and like he saw some kid, you know, rocking out or whatever, and he tapped the kid on the shoulder and he gave him a few guitar picks, and the kid was like, "Cool, thanks, mister." Turns back around and he's like, "Hey mom, dad, look what I got," whatever. And they're turning around like, "Hey, thanks, man." Oh shit, that's Dave Mustaine. And by that time he was already on his way out.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't want to cause a scene. But like doing shit like that is cool. But I don't know. I've heard it's just he can be a bit of a nightmare to deal with. I have yet to meet him, so I really have no opinion. I'd like to. Whatever. So yeah, going back to me talking about bottle presentation.
Yeah. Did you give us your rating?
I no, not yet. I was gonna give it a 4, but then you reminded me of the plastic cap. And my head went right back.
I killed it for you.
My head went right back to Jim Beam. So I gave it a 4 1/4, sir.
Flipping the script.
Flip it. Fuck that script. I'm gonna flip it over and have my way with it. So that brought
Family show.
Whoa. So that brought my final score up to 8 5/8. 8.625. How about you?
5/8. Mine was 8.5. 4 1/4 across the board. Came out to 8.5.
8.5. 8.5. All right. Not bad at all. So this, once again, I haven't written it down, but I call this a Like, if you have yet to try out Bottled and Bond, the whole experience, and figure out exactly what that means and what that is, like, we've already told you what that means and what that is, but what it's like to actually try it, it's going to be different. You know, per distillery, per bourbon, just like, you know, every bourbon is different. Right?
Well, and the whole Bottle and Bond thing, I don't remember the year that came about, but that came about way, way, way back, long time ago, pre-Prohibition.
Yeah.
When distilleries would deliver their products to the taverns and whatnot, and the taverns just realized they were not getting the same thing every time, and there was no regulation on things. You could say, yeah, this is such and such.
Google says March 3rd,
holy shit, okay.
1897.
Well,
wow.
I was going to guess pre-1900.
I was going to guess pre-Prohibition and leave it at that.
Yeah.
Like 1920.
Okay. Well,
you know?
I mean, the whole deal...
1897, holy smokes.
That whole deal on that, though, is, you know, aside from a gentleman's word kind of a thing, you just didn't know what you were getting from the distillery. And so the Bottle and Bond came about as a way for the government to step in and say, okay, look, motherfuckers, we're going to regulate this thing, and we're going to hold you all accountable to this.
Yeah.
And so, which I think, if you remember, I read in the paragraph on this, talking about the government... let me look back on there.
Usually I have a huge problem with government interjection and oversight.
Yeah.
But I do know that I'm not a total fucking anarchist. Like, I do understand that they do have a role to play.
Yeah.
And it's not always about, you know, me. Like, it's pretty much to, me to protect you from me.
Right,
Like, that's when they come in.
So if a product is bottled and bond, it means that those barrels are stored in a federally bonded warehouse that is under the U.S. government supervision.
Yeah.
They make sure that there's no tampering with it. What is in there is what they say is in there. It reminds me last summer when we went to visit Buffalo Trace, there was this kind of a weird small little brick and mortar little house, like as we're walking down the paths in between all the different warehouses and all that, there was this little bitty brick building, and we could see iron gates on the front of it. And as we got closer to it, it was the bonded U.S. government supervised little house and it was barely big enough to house their 1/1,000,000th barrel of Buffalo Trace.
Okay, I saw that picture.
Yes.
You posted that. I mean, I saw that picture.
I would say it was probably like a 10 by 10 size building, but there was literally a single barrel on its own little stand in the middle of it. You could see all the signatures from all the distillers and the employees that worked on that. But it had the iron gates on there. It had the full glass doors on the front of it, so you could see the barrel. But the iron gates it was all locked and blocked off, and that's kind of all part of that bonded program. So, and I've said before, I've always wondered, this day and age, does it matter? Does it mean anything?
I think it does.
I think the answer is yes, because time and time again we pick up something that is bottled in bond, and it's a step or two above the offering that's not. And I think it's partially, proof. It's guaranteed 100 proof, but I think it also comes down to ingredients. Even though I haven't seen anything that specifically calls out it, I think things that if a distiller does the due diligence to go above and beyond to make a product bottled in bond, they're going to make sure that it is made with the best quality ingredients they can find. It is put into the best quality barrels they can find because it's an extra step. It's going to cost them an extra step.
Yeah.
Which then in turn costs us an extra step.
And you know, anything involving the United States government is going to have to be United States made. But I wrote down here my little synopsis. It's a great candidate for your introduction to the bottled and bond experience. Some call it a daily sipper, and some would call those people snobs. I'm some people. Try it for yourself and tell us what you think. That's what I wrote down. Did you write anything down?
I didn't write anything down.
What do you think?
Well, first off, I like it.
I like it too. I like it too.
I can see myself just plowing through this bottle. This is fantastic.
This would not be a hard bottle to attack.
I'm going to need another one rather soon because, it's going to disappear quickly.
But, we're not animals and we're not alcoholics. So,
It's for the podcast.
It's for the podcast, Katie. She's like, so is this fucking banana bread, motherfucker. Oh, man. Sometimes I wonder what it would be like for there to be a fight in Savor the Burn Studios. It's a fight between bottled and bond bourbon and banana bread.
Who will win?
Who will win? We'll sell you the seat, but you're only going to need the edge. Well, on that note, thank you for listening and or watching to this episode of the Savor the Burn podcast. Like we said before, check out savortheburn.com for all of our social links and all the information. You'll find this bottle in the liquor cabinet. If Mr. W2 here finds a cocktail that he likes to use it for or wants to try it with, if it makes the cut, he'll put it on the cocktails on the recipes cocktails page. Look for it. You're gonna find it. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be great.
And what's that?
The best website you've ever seen.
What's that website again?
Savortheburn.com. Did I say the wrong
website? No.
Okay.
I just wanted you to say it for the listeners /
Savor the Burn. SAVORTHEBURN.
I was just reminded of
.com.
Was that earlier this week or was that last week?
That I said the wrong website.
No.
Okay.
We're we talk a lot.
We do. We really do.
We text like
crazy.
And
I'm not upset about it. Because I'm a social butterfly and I need the constant fucking dopamine hit.
But I'm getting the text messages. I don't know what's wrong with me. These old fashions taste like shit. They're terrible.
Okay, you're talking about me now.
Right.
Okay,
I'm talking about you.
Yeah. So I was.
And you're telling me all these things, and then you're
I wish I had some place to go.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah. He's like, well, there is a website.
But I did say there might be a website you can go to.
You did. And I went there and I was like, oh, I'm putting lemon juice in this. And there's not supposed to be lemon juice. For whatever reason, I was thinking old fashioned, but my brain and body translated that into sour.
Yeah, whiskey
like,
sour.
I was trying to make a whiskey or a bourbon sour, and it's just like, this tastes like shit. like this does not taste what I thought it was going to taste like. I mean, luckily I didn't put any sweet vermouth in there, thinking that was going to be an old fashioned. Like, this is a Manhattan fashion. I don't get it. So anyway, 4 tries later.
Man fashioned.
Because we're men. We don't drink whiskey with ice. Fuck ice. No, we're
Throw
not.
it in the trash.
We're not snobs about it like that. If you like your whiskey with ice, by all means have ice. We don't care. We kind of follow the whiskey tribe's kind of rules on that. Like the best whiskey is the whiskey you like and the way you like to drink it.
Yes, sir.
I think that's how they put it. But I wholeheartedly agree. I'm not gonna poo-poo on somebody else's experience. Like if they like Jim Beam White Label, then that's what they like. Over the course of this podcast, if you've been a listener since the beginning, you know that I started off with a white label thinking that was my old hat, and then we tried the black label and that became my old hat. Who knows? Maybe I'll find another version of the old JB, and then Booker's can't be a daily drinker for me, but Booker's,
why not?
Fucking hard to be. Well, I don't make that much money.
It's a Jim Beam product.
It is, but it's the price point. Plus, I'd feel bad for like going through, those bottles and that entire display case and all that stuff. And those bottles, to me, a bottle like that is something that you share with the people that you care about and you love. So I'm not going to drink all that to myself.
True story.
I could, but I'm not gonna. Well, on that note, thank you, dear listener and or watcher, viewer. We're gonna have to figure that out. We're really early on here on the video part of it. All the above. Thank you for listening to and or watching the Savor the Burn podcast. Again, my name is Jonathan. This is Mr. W2. Follow along on all of our social medias and your favorite podcast app of choice. No matter who you are, where you are, who you're drinking with, and what you're drinking. Never forget, dear listener, to keep on burning.